What's up, guys? Welcome to the Dreamhive. My name's Galen, and if you don't know who I am, I'm a comic book artist and writer. I'm an illustrator. I do a lot of different creative things. You can find me across the internet on most of the social platforms at Art by Galen. And primarily, I made this channel, the Dreamhive, so I could have a place to share my mostly non-art related content. I've recently started diving into game development, and I'm building a 2D platformer game of my own. And this is mostly just a way to kind of share like what it is I'm working on, keeping you guys up to date with the status of things, sharing things that work, sharing things that didn't work, and not just game devlog stuff, but little bits of everything. Like as I'm working on the comic, I'll update you guys. It's more of a vlog based on all of the things that I'm working on. Primarily, the main two things are going to be comic books and game development. We also will probably talk a little bit about content creation and live streaming because I do a lot of that as well. I do want to put a little asterisk here. I am not a pro game developer at all. Like I'm very much a newbie. I've done some tutorial series on the internet. I've done a few paid courses on the internet. I know enough to make a basic little hop around kind of game, and I want to kind of document the progress of this. That way, not only I have a way to look back on where it started, but also to kind of track publicly the process of making it. So, a few years ago, I came up with the idea of some characters called Agatha and Zed, and I made them as a thing for Inktober in 2017, so I could have characters. I wanted to do all of Inktober with the same two characters in different situations for all of the prompts. And on my Art by Galen YouTube channel, I have all of that stuff. If you ever want to go check that out, I'll put a card over here if I can. But a few years ago, I also started working on a platformer game based on those characters, and honestly, I'm not super proud of how it turned out, but I'm going to show you. It's a super simple little character. She walks, she jumps, and makes noise. It was a really rough background. It was mostly just like trying to get the basics of things, and I didn't do anything else with it. But recently I've got bitten by that bug of wanting to make a game again, and so I've started it with a little bit more knowledge this time. I'm building the characters' movements and actions based around a state machine, which is a much better way to control all of her actions and stuff, as opposed to trying to, have it constantly checking for all of these things in every single step of the game. But I'm not going to try to really like do tutorials on how to make programming things or how to do things in game programming or anything, because I don't really feel like I'm in a stage where I can confidently teach that. Maybe in the future, I don't know. I feel like there's already a couple of guys who do a fantastic job of that sort of thing. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not really worried about that. To show you what I've got so far on the new game. It's the same concept. We've still got Agatha. Let me move this out of the way. We've still got Agatha moving around. It's the same sort of visual style, even, but I've got it a lot better. Like there's not so many different like mixels as they call it, where you've got different size sprites and things like that. I've worked on getting all of the states figured out. Most of them anyway. There's still a few that I need to sort out. But anyway, so we've got this going, and it's a start, right? I really want to try to get all of the movement and all of the character states locked down before I worry too much about level design and enemy creation and stuff. Because I'd like to get it where she's very really fun to play as in the game, and then once I'm really happy with how she controls and the things that she can do, I will build the game around that. I think that that's probably going to be a better way to do it, as opposed to trying to go ahead and build levels and things and then sort of crowbar her actions and stuff into it. However, one change that I did make recently is the with the sprites. And so currently in the game, if we load up just the plain old Agatha here, we've got this sprite, and I was working on an idle animation, trying to make it where she had a little bit of movement, like when she's just standing there and the player's not putting any input on the controller or the keyboard. And I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't liking the way that it was going at all. And so what I decided to do was just start over. So I looked at some different sprites. I looked around the internet and tried to find some like different styles, different animation methods. And I came across a few that I really, really liked. And I was like, man, this is going to be a lot of work, because I started looking at it. And currently my, let me move this so you can see it. My pixel size for these characters are 64 by 64. And if you make any kind of changes to your character's pixel size in a game, all of the code that affects that is going to be affected. Like it's the movement speed is going to be affected. The way that they interact with other things is going to be affected, and so it's not a little change at all. But I did start making a new sprite for her, and it's twice the size as far as the measurements go. It's a 128 by 128 pixel block, but it means it's 4 times the pixel space. But I feel like this gives me a lot more personality and a lot more expression with the character. I'm having a lot more fun with it. It does mean that I'm going to need to go through all of these different sprites and animations and redo them. But I do feel like it's going to be worth it. Because, I feel like, looking at the other one compared to this one, there's almost, I don't know, there's just not near the personality in the first one as there is in this one. And it's not to say that this is bad. I still enjoy this style. I still am, I'm not going to just delete them. I'm going to save them in case I want to use them for something else. But for the game that I'm making currently, I feel like this works a lot better. So currently, my task is I need to go through and redo all of the sprites that are listed on the right side with her name in it. So we've got to redo her casting, climbing, crawling, ducking, falling, floating, jumping, damage taken, and we've got her walk cycle in progress right now. So I've got her walk cycle in progress, and I say in progress very loosely. Like I've got the legs figured out, and I've got the body kind of figured out, and the head shape figured out. I like to kind of work one step at a time, nail down the movement sort of with a silhouette before I worry about adding details or adding, highlights and shadows and things like that. But right now, that's my job is finishing up all these sprites, getting them ready for the game, and then making whatever necessary adjustment to the code to bring in these larger sprites to make everything work better. I may need to make some adjustments overall to the room size, just to make sure that the character fits better. But I feel like it's better to make these changes now than it is, 6 months down the line. So before we have a lot of the game developed. That's pretty much what I've got to share with you now. As I said, I do all sorts of content creation. Almost all of it is based on creativity of some sort, whether it's art or writing or game making or, something like that. But over on Twitch, I do stream 4 times a week. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Monday and Wednesday are our art streams. We do little bits of everything on those days. Friday is my game dev stream day, so I actually do stream while I work on this game. I sometimes will stream code, sometimes will stream pixel art. For the foreseeable future, it's going to be mostly pixel art until I get those new sprites finished. But and I know that a lot of developers will kind of say like you should wait until you've got the game figured out before you start worrying about sprites. But being a visual person, it helps me. Like, I'm not going to go out and try to design everything in the game and then try to put it together. But I do want to create the art for the character as I build her programming, because I want to try to make it all as tight as I can and make it all function as nicely as I can. And plus, it helps motivate me to keep pushing if I can kind of start to see what the end product might look like. Now, I do have a little bit of a roadmap as far as all the things that I need to do, and I will probably talk about that a little bit more in another video in the future. But yeah, I feel like, this is a pretty good first video. I mainly just wanted to introduce everybody to the channel, give you guys kind of an overview of what's going to be here. And as I said earlier, it's just going to be kind of, me talking about the things that I'm working on, talk about what works, what didn't work, some ideas that I'm trying to shoot for, and we'll go from there. And we'll see how it goes. But anyhow, thank you for your time. Thank you for choosing to sit here and hang out with me while I ramble about all these goofy things that I'm doing. And if you're not already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and maybe drop a follow over on Twitch and come hang out with us on a live stream sometime. But anyhow, until next time, take care.